voice, or write it down to the T of, hey, I want this frame to go like this, or I want this to look like this. I want it to automate like anything you can think of. So I would think right now it's really exciting in that way, but I don't know how you would incorporate that with your skill drawing. And they do have, by the way, any software you want to think of coding-wise, where you just did it with your mouth, vibe coding, you can think of something that actually will let you draw what you want to draw, shades it in, so it doesn't have to take away from your uniqueness of drawing your character, even though they could copy it, but it would never be like you doing it. So, I don't know what you feel about that.
It's pretty cool, like the processes and the availability of what AI can do. Right now, a lot of artists are anti-AI, but the ones that are willing to learn from it can be pretty successful. It does have to have original artwork plugged in to create some things. I'm not super familiar with it, but I'm always afraid of robots taking over the world, so I'm a little... I'm not skeptical of AI. I think it's really cool what it can do.
Yeah.
All the kids in the art program would get depressed every time their art professor mentioned it. And he's like, there's job opportunities here if you can learn how to embrace it. But then it's like a company will hire you, have you create the content, and then fire you and have the robots do all the rest of the work. So
That's right. Remember Colossus, the Foreman Project? By the time that movie was over, the whole world was screwed.
Yeah, and I guess I've heard they have like AI actresses now, so all these are really angry not getting millions of dollars to perform.
I know.
But then you won't have their political views anymore.
It's so funny that you're talking about some artists. They get kind of pissed off about the AI and stuff like that. I had 2 artists for my books, and anything I requested, they would draw. And they were doing everything in black and white. They weren't doing anything in color. So I took some of their drawings and got it colored through AI. And it pissed them off. Now we're not even talking. In fact, they got me blocked on Facebook, and I blocked them on Facebook. So and we got into, and they said, well, what can I do to stop this from ruining my artwork with colors? I said, maybe write a letter to Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's a really sensitive subject. In fact, Comic-Con the other year, there's an artist that was exhibiting like all AI work, and they like basically frog walked him out of.
I think fairly so. I think we're kind of in an early phase of where AI, finding its usefulness. I think, for me, I feel like AI can't generate what we call art. It can generate images, and I think we're in a weird place where like there's the ethical sourcing of the models and things like that, because a lot of it's just been scraped from people's work without any acknowledgement or compensation and all that kind of stuff. So, I worry about those kind of issues with AI. I think that there's a role for it, as it kind of works itself out over time. But right now I'm kind of, I am definitely maybe more hesitant to like fully embrace it with workflows and things. I think it's great for things like where I'm trying to figure out how to do something in code or something, and I ask it like, well, how would you do this? And then I can see what code it gives me, and then I adapt it to what I need to do to like build a HTML page or something like that, right? And like, but when it comes to art, I'm a little more sensitive too, just because I do feel like creativity comes from a human aspect. But
I feel that.
Yeah. And people love cute characters, and your characters look cute. And it kind of reminds me of this guy, if you know who he is.
Oh, Bone, yeah.
Yeah, Bone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cute character. He was super popular. I don't know if he's super popular now. I've been away from comic books. But your characters look like they have the ability to catch on with the public.
We met years ago, and he was telling us how he had to go to a Bible publisher to get his trade together because it was so big. Really nice guy. I actually have both collections, the black and white and the color that released recently.
Okay.
And I really like Bone. I think it's still fairly popular, and they also started releasing it in scholastic books and the things that kids get at school, the little flyers, and I think that brought some of it back. And it's kind of cool because it has a dark and edgy tone, but it's also really fun. and I think he's gotten a couple of Eisner Awards as well.
Oh yeah, it has. And I've been to
Yeah.
I've been to the 1998 San Diego International Comic Con, and I met Stan Lee. I met a lot of the greats out there, and I used to be in the comic book business, so yeah.
Nice.
So you've seen a lot.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot. Yeah. Are your comic books, are they archived for people who want to look at some back issues or whatever?
Yeah, I have 2 collections out right now. I think I have 8 issues. The first collection's over 100 pages, and it's got like issues I think 1 through 4, volume 1.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
The fun thing is you can read them in just about any order. This one is one of my favorites because Kit Wallace did the cover. He's an artist. He's kind of an indie up-and-coming artist, and I think I'll turn this back.
Is your character somewhat like Usagi Yojimbo?
I actually thought of that a little bit when I created him with the 1 ear. It was kind of a mix of Bongo and Usagi, but I was just trying to make up a fun long name and draw a cool rabbit-y character with fangs in art class back in high school. And then several other artists started making their own books and making up some characters. And Corey is actually a really good writer as well, and he had a story that he wrote about Bob the Badger, which is this badger that wants to commit suicide, but he gets abducted by aliens and can't die. And so he causes all kinds of destruction, and the stories are really funny. And so all of my friends were reading some of those, and they would draw some sketches of Bob. They're really good. He actually is an excellent writer. I think his dialogue in Sato Cat is just hilarious. It's really great. So I think mine, I have okay dialogue, but it's more slapstick. Like the images are more of the funny stuff. But yeah, Sato Cat Volume 1 is awesome. I enjoy reading it. I've read it a couple times, and I watched him make it. So.
Now, are your characters copyrighted with the Library of Congress?
I think we have the poor man's copyright, but we do put copyrights on all our books. I think Corey handled a lot of that process. I have one of the ones back from high school where I did certified mail to myself to kind of do that originally. I don't know that it's in the Library of Congress, but we write copyrights in all of our books.
Oh, that's cool. I just want to know if I could steal them or not.
Well,
Usually when you register it, people steal it. I mean, when you keep it like that, I mean, one way or the other, I mean, it's his idea, so, he'll be able to track it down. But when it's a good idea like that, people want to steal it, people, they're not honest like you or whatever. They need a head start or something, but the way you did it like that, in good faith and everything, I mean, like, you come this far with no problem, right?
Yeah, well, every now and again we'll see an idea we had, get picked up in a Disney thing this way or that way.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, we had the idea, and, what do you know, Disney's on top of it.
They have spies everywhere.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that type of stuff, a beat goes dun dun dun, and then they go dun 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 dun. People, are doing that. So it's like, but I want to say about both you guys, when you describe that process, I can feel when I'm looking at the character, I felt like humor in it. I felt like that's a cool character, like the energy, and then you saying he's a good writer. It must be a really good combination.
It's pretty fun. We, when I grew up, I wanted to be a comic strip artist and have something in the newspaper and things, and we saw where newspapers went, so it's kind of a good thing. I guess I didn't go that way, but I had all these characters that I was drawing already, and then I saw Matt was about 3 pages into his Rabbit Wars comic in high school, and I was like, oh, you know what? I need to switch over to comic books because he's having a wild time just making it up as he goes, and so I created Sato Cat right around then, and started putting my book together and brought in all my comic strip characters into that. But that's why it's kind of got that. It's kind of, I like to say it's like comic strip style in a way, but in a comic book format. So, and of course we wanted to. It was right around then that like Ren and Stimpy was out, and other things that were like back in the mid '90s where we were getting started. And so we really wanted to amp up the violence in there just to make it a little, that juxtaposition of the cuteness and then the crazy. So
Yeah, they're cute, but they're all evil. they got their animals with superpowers, and the superpowers didn't improve their personalities. So, Sato Cat kind of does had superpowers.
Hey, the reason.
So didn't improve the personality.
Yeah.
If your cat could eat you, it would.
The reason why I was asking you guys about the copyrights and stuff like that is because I actually had an experience. Do you guys know who Jim Valentino is?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, Jim Valentino, who I was really good friends with. I gave him a story about myself in which my mother told me she saw my comic book collection. I was a young boy. And she says, you know, if you don't get rid of these comic books by the weekend, I'm burning them. I said,
Oh, wow.
what the? No, hell no. And so they took off that for a couple days. They're doing something, and they had my brother watch me. But my brother was too interested in this girl and left me all alone, home alone. And here I was at the house. And I moved all those comic books into the crawl space of the house in Monterey, California. Every single comic book was saved because I put them in the crawl space. My parents, there's no way they could have fit in there. Only a small child could fit into this crawl space. To this day, they're probably still there. But you know, I told
Go back and take them out.
Yeah, and I told Jim, and I had some comic books. No, I watch what is that? Pawn Stars, and they every once in a while they'll bring these comic books that are worth a lot of money, and I said, oh my God, I had that comic book. I could have made $62,000. But yeah.
Just go back to that old house and knock on the door, then go and break their drywall and take your comics.
I just wonder what kind of supernatural things are going on in that house that's buried. It's it's on top of a comic book graveyard, so they're probably having wild dreams and things are moving across the room.
Oh yeah, and well anyway, I told the story to Jim Valentino. The next issue of his comic book has my whole story in there, except he used a different boy. I said, Jim, at least give me some credit for it. So, I mean, I kind of bugged him about it, and so the next comic book he had, he actually gave me credit. And I said, thank you, that's all I want. Yeah, I don't want no money. But if I wanted your comic books, start collecting them, are they e-books and are they printed books? Are they both?
We have some online at thoughtless.com that you can read online for free, and you can order all the volumes. I don't know if we have individual issues up on the site, but if someone just messages us, we can send individual issues to them. It's kind of cool. Mine's international. I had some people in Australia buy it a few years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
We the site's pretty fun. There's I think we have a few of the books up, and my most popular one is a Star Wars spoof where the characters meet the Ewoks, or they're called Weewoks in the book, and they end up literally
let's see
them
that.
and wearing them. Let's see. I think I have some of the original artwork here. Give me a moment and I'll pull it up. So we come up with these gags, and sometimes we end up making a whole entire issue over the gag, and so sometimes I'm kind of like, maybe if we just did
oh yeah, okay, I'm starting to see it.
Those are cats in the background.
It's invisible.
You gotta lean back and hold it in front.
Yeah, lean back.
There we go. So you can kind of see that they're wearing skins and for their feet. So it's kind of fun. When I was really young, I got to visit the Aztec and Mayan ruins, and one of the stories that stuck with me is how they would kill their enemies and skin them and wear them. So kind of brought
like
that out.
skinwalkers, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they're like, it's kind of fun because it's like cartoon violence, so they're pretty okay for basically 7 and up. I did have a mom that was offended once because my character has From Hell in it. And it was kind of funny because this woman, we were visiting some friends down in, I think it was St. George, Utah for Thanksgiving, and she had a young kid that was a nephew of one of our friends that we were there to visit, and I gave him one of my cards that had, you know, the pictures of our characters and the name of the character, and she got so offended that the word hell was on there, but we found out later on that she sat this 7-year-old kid or 6-year-old kid down and taught him every single swear word just so he would know which ones were bad. So I'm like, can't you just learn it organically? So you're offended by this word, and yet you taught him every swear word that there is in existence, so he just would know which ones were bad.
Now that's good parenting, let me tell you.
Yeah, he had quite the vocabulary.
But by the way, when I was a kid, I drew and wrote my own comic. I think it was probably still in grade school. It was called The Weekly Funnies for a Nickel. It had a circulation of maybe 10, including friends and relatives. I had a superhero strip, a science fiction strip, a cartoon strip, and I can't remember what else. And I still have some of those somewhere. I'll have to show them on the show. But I wanted to ask you guys, when you were kids, what were the original comic books that you were drawn to? You know, what did DC, Marvel, other independents, superheroes, or whatever?
I'll let Corey go first since I've been talking
Yeah.
so much.
Well, I could say, growing up, I didn't get my hands on a comic book. I think I can remember the very first comic book I ever bought was a Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom comic book I picked up on a road trip one time in a gas station, and I thought that was a cool comic. And then I really liked Spider-Man as a kid. I used to wait for him to come on to the Electric Company, and I was always disappointed if he wasn't on that episode of the Electric Company. But so I liked watching the Spider-Man and Friends cartoon and things. When I finally did pick up comic book collecting, was kind of as a freshman in high school. My friends took me over, and I went to I picked up the Batman Year 2 trade paperback